Alright, it's Hawkins with Chicken Hawk Farmstead again. And today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm at my buddy's place, and we're going to be working on his vehicle and putting some AC components in. And I'm going to let him kind of explain what the vehicle is and what we're going to be throwing on here. Alright.
Alright, Dave. This is a 2005 Ford Escape 6-cylinder, 3-liter. It's got 240,000 miles on it. And we're going to put a compressor on it today. The compressor was good except for it started to leak refrigerant around the bearings where it enters the bearings around the shaft. But otherwise the compressor functioning fine. So we're not going to flush the system, which is what they recommend doing. But anytime you crack the system, they always recommend replacing the accumulator, which dries your system out. And the shop wanted to estimate me, give me a rough estimate of $1,000 for labor to do this. Whew. The parts here all together, the orifice tube, and the accumulator come to less than $200, so it'll save some money.
All right, let's see. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take us 2 days to do this.
No kidding.
All right, so we're gonna walk through the process of what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it. So hopefully anybody else going to do this will help you out a little bit, so you can see all of our mistakes. All right, the first step we need to do is get this belt off. And the way we're going to go about that is you take your ratchet and the little piece in the center there. Your ratchet just pops right in there. It's 3/8 inch ratchet. Pull down on it, and it's going to loosen up the tension on the belt. And then just pull the belt off the pulley. And that's all there is to it. You can see the tension right there in the center, and here in a second I'll give you a better shot of where you can see it actually, where the ratchet goes into the tensioner there. You can kind of get a better view right here. Don't put any socket on the ratchet itself. The ratchet actually sticks into the little slot right there, and you adjust the ratchet and just pull down on it. Alright, this part here is just taking off the compressor in high speed. There's 3 bolts there, and you just want to loosen them all up. I believe it was a 1/2 inch socket we used there, and just started taking them out slowly. On the inside between the compressor and where it mounts, take note there's a bracket that sits there, so as you're taking it off, make sure you take a look at that bracket and see how it fits. So when you go to put the new compressor in, you'll be able to put it in the right spot.
That one bolt holds on that whole block. And that block comes all together off in one pair.
Alright, so we're just gonna pop this out here. And then this will all.
This gonna lift straight away. It's gonna go straight out. See, this is a little expansion chamber and everything.
Alright.
Let me just take this little.
Do what you gotta do.
This little wire off here.
What's that wire?
This controls your clutches.
Okay, a little.
Yeah, it's just a little plug. I'm not exactly sure. I can't see how to get it off just yet, but I think it's just a pry thing.
Alright, so we finally got the AC compressor off. This is where the sensor for...
That's the switch that kicks on
for the clutch.
Clutches doesn't engage.
It's right there. That was a little bit of a pain in the ass to get off, as you can see from the video.
Little switch over on this side.
Had to get a little screwdriver in there to kind of push down that. And then watch these here. You see but we think the new one has some rings on it. This ended up being a 10 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So once this came partially off, let me show you just a second. Once that came out a bit, you can see right there where it's got a cutout. So once we got it loosened up, it just slid off. You didn't actually have to undo that bolt all the way out. You just got to loosen it. And that relieves the pressure. There's the insides there. Alright, so on to the next step.
One of the things I've always been told, now I don't know if it actually matters since you're replacing the air dryer or not, but you can prevent some air from getting in your system. And air, when I mean air, I mean
Moisture.
Moisture is the biggest thing from getting in your system. By simply, well, that was too big.
Just plugging the hose up.
Plugging the hose with some thing kind of helps get some of the debris. And of course, if you hit a wall or something and you're not able to finish today, put that in there, keeps debris and everything from getting in your system.
Before installing the new compressor, we drained the oil that it was shipped with out of it, and then replaced it with about 4 ounces of this oil here that's recommended to be used in the compressor. As you're adding the oil into the compressor through these ports here, once you pour a little bit in, you want to actually spin the pulley so it'll move the pistons inside, and then you can add more oil. That way you get the oil lubed up all throughout the whole compressor. Alright, make sure you check your box for all your parts. These got to go in there. They go right here where your bolts are. They're a little spacer. See one there, one there. This one over here doesn't have one. So make sure you pull this out of your box, and before you put the other piece on, or put the compressor itself on, make sure these are in place so you don't forget about them, because it'd be terrible if you put your whole compressor on and thought you were done with that part, and then looked in your box and found these. So luckily through the power of editing, we didn't do that.
Alright, one other thing I'm going to point out, we've got the new compressor installed, the adequate amount of oil added to it, and we it came with new O-rings, so we didn't have to do that. Always make sure you lube the O-rings, just like when you're changing the oil filter. Alright, on this particular, always make sure to look up and find out what the torque specifications, one, because you don't want to strip out these aluminum blocks, and two, because they have to be torqued reasonably close to whatever they're recommended at. And the other thing is, make sure you tighten all of them finger tight, and then tighten them a little bit at a time as you go in for the final tighten, because this one I believe has got to be torqued at about 20 foot-pounds of torque, so I'm going to rough estimate that with my hands. The thing is, you have to torque them all about the same, and you don't want them over tightened, because if you do, it'll cause the vibration. It won't run true on the belt and cause the bearings, same problem I had that caused this whole problem. It'll cause the bearings to wear out prematurely. So make sure you tighten little increments as you go. Like I said, there's no sense over tightening these. And then after this, we'll put the belt on, and we'll see about putting the accumulator on now, and then we'll charge it and let it roll.
Alright, well, we ended up not replacing the accumulator because on here, this where this is put together and where that's put together down there, it's not worth going through the possibility of possibly breaking it, because they were pretty snug even after we took the clamps off. So we left that there. We went ahead and right here is the high side on the pressure. Low pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we went ahead and topped it off with 2 cans of the coolant, and everything's blowing cold, so hopefully that'll be it. You can see some of the sweat here, but like I said, it wasn't really worth going through the trouble of replacing that, and also going through the possibility of breaking one of these connections here or there. So we got the part, and if it seems like it needs it later, then we'll go through the process of replacing it. But
as you can see, my gauge shows it's locked in where I've disconnected and locked off both sides, but we're running about 35 psi, which is inside the green.
so it should be good, and we'll keep an eye on it, make sure it keeps the coolant. I think we got the problem fixed. Hope this helps.
One charging tip: when you get a charger, any kind of charger you get anywhere, it's got to tell you connect to the low side port only. Truth is, it'll only connect to the low side port because the high side port on every car I've ever done is too big to even.
Has a totally different connection.
So,
all right, another good tip at the end. All right, comment. Let us know if you know how to get this off in an easy way. Throw it in the comments. We'd appreciate it. And there'll be a link to where you can get these parts. I think you said you got them on Amazon?
Amazon.
Yeah, so we'll link to them to make them easier to find for this year model. If you're looking up, trying to change out your compressor. Have a good one.